if you're not familiar with the story of the Giving Tree, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. It is a story about Shel Silverstein. It was published, I think, originally, let's see, I think it has it in here, in 1964. So this is an old ass book. And I just dropped it. So the thing about the Giving Tree that I find interesting is that it is very much like, you know, there's this tree that loves this boy, right? And it is an unconditional love between the tree and the boy. But, you know, I think what sucks is that as a kid, when I first was introduced to this book, I think I was in the 1st or 2nd grade. So anyway, the story of the Giving Tree is this tree and this boy. This tree just continually gives to the boy, and the boy continually takes. And when I read this book as a kid, I remember asking the teacher, hey, you know, what is this about? I feel like it's saying, like, I didn't say it like that. Imagine, say everything that I'm saying, but translate it into like a 6 or 7-year-old. And I just remember being like, why doesn't the boy ever give anything to the tree? And it's like, well, the tree never asks anything of the boy. And it's basically this whole idea of that, you know, the tree is giving because it loves the boy, or she loves the boy. And because she loves the boy, she's going to continue to give even if she doesn't get anything in return. The whole idea of unconditional love, which is awesome. And I love that idea. In fact, what I find a problem about this book is that introducing it when you're 6 or 7, it can possibly result in you thinking, hey, that's how love is supposed to be. And I'm supposed to constantly give. And if I want anything back, I'm being selfish. Which unfortunately means people who feel that way ending up in toxic relationships. Which is why this is such an interesting book. Because why is it introduced to people when they're 6 or 7? Like, this is a great book, I think, for like an 11 or 12-year-old. To be like, hey, go through this and be like, what do you think about these 2 characters? Which one's right or wrong? And, you know, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because at the end of the day, the tree wanted to give everything to this boy. No one came and made her do it. She just wanted to do it. The boy came, he asked, and she gave it to him. There was no one saying, like, you better take care of that boy. She just wanted to do it. And I think that is the hard part when you teach this book to people when they're 7 or 6 or 7, is that they basically think either, hey, am I the boy or am I the tree? Am I going to constantly give and not expect anything in return? Or am I going to be the type of person that takes things and then eventually will pay the person back? That if they're giving me something, it's because they love me and I love them for giving me something, which is not necessarily bad. But I mean, look at the world we live in now. And I feel like that is where we're at. There are people who are give and take. There are people who are take and maybe give. And it's a really interesting thing. And so I just wanted to have a very blunt discussion on the story of the Giving Tree. This is the first book that I'm going to be kind of breaking down. I've got a few others, like, you know, The Red Ripe Strawberry. Y'all reread that book? That gaslighting narrator motherfucker? Exactly. So, I appreciate you listening. Thanks for the discussion. And if you want to participate, you know, leave a comment. What do you feel about this book? Were you taught this thing? Because I also, that's another thing, is I think different classes are taught different messages about this book. Because I do think this book is actually an analogy for parenthood. Hey, my dog. An analogy for parenthood and not something that really is for children. Maybe when they're like 11 or 12, they revisit and say, hey, what is this book saying? But what do I know?